Gloria Parker is the CEO and senior partner of Parker Group Consulting,
I'm in your way, sorry.
based in Washington, D.C. She has contracts with major companies such as CSC, Lockheed Martin, and multiple others. She consults with the government on business strategies. She's also working with several government agencies on strategic planning, organizational excellence, cybersecurity, and program performance. Gloria Parker served on the Obama-Biden transition team from 2008 to 2009. And prior to that assignment, she was the first Chief Information Officer at both the U.S. Department of Housing and Urban Development and the U.S. Department of Education. She was the first Black woman to achieve this status in government technology. Prior to her government service, Gloria Parker was employed by IBM Corporation for 17 years, where she was recognized with several top awards from IBM. She has appeared at WBO's It's All About Me conference as our keynote and also served on a few panels. Gloria Parker is also my cousin. So that is her favorite distinction. But Gloria, I thank you for being here. She is a hard woman to nail down, and I so appreciate you doing this for us at WBO. We love you to death. And please come up and share how we can make our businesses direct.
All right. Well, good afternoon. Let's see. Good afternoon. Good afternoon. I'm so glad to be here with you all this afternoon. And we're going to talk this afternoon about relationships. And I think a lot of people think they have that down, but I find that most people really don't know how to create them, how to protect them, how to use them, and we're going to talk about all those kinds of things today. And hopefully you all have a bunch of questions at the end that we can help you with. I'm going to give you a lot of examples of things that have happened to me in my career, and hopefully that will help you as you go out there and build these relationships that are going to be very important to you. Let me start out by just saying, what is a relationship? Now, you all know we got those personal relationships, those family things, and those love relationships, and those things filled with plenty of drama. We're not dealing with those today, okay? We're going to move that out of the way. Then we have personal relationships for services, like with your doctor, with your banker, those kinds of things. Those have drama sometimes too. Not as much as those other personal relationships, but we're not dealing with those today either. But there are two other kinds of relationships that I want to speak to today that affect those of us that are in business. Some are called business relationships, and I'm going to sneak this one in. I wasn't asked to talk about this one, but employee-employer relationships. Because I know some of you own businesses, and even if you don't own a business, you work in a business, and you've got to deal with the employer-employee type relationship. So let's start with what is a relationship. What is a business relationship? If you look it up in a dictionary, it says that it's an association between individuals or companies that's entered into for, now listen to this carefully, for commercial purposes. That's where we as a people tend to have a tough time because we don't get the part about these relationships are entered into for commercial purposes. We're going to come back to that. Friendly business relationships with an extensive network of other executives. So they're friendly. Some of us kind of get confused every now and then and think, well, this is my bud, right? This is my girl. No, these are business relationships, right? And they're entered into with the intent of being able to do commercial business. Now, we can be friendly with the people we want to be friendly with, the people that we're doing business with, but we need to clearly understand what kind of relationship we are in. So why are these relationships important to us in business? Well, first of all, they're important because they help us to get things done. They help us to get things done through networks. Networks are really important, and today we have social networks. And you get those things all the time. Somebody wants you to join them in LinkedIn, and they want you to join their Facebook, and so on and so forth. Now, LinkedIn to me, and I know these are getting kind of old now, but LinkedIn is more on the business side. And when I get ready to accept somebody into my LinkedIn network, I read their profile and I try to understand, are these people legitimate in business, and who do I know who knows them? Okay, now why is that network relationship important? Because once you start building those, you can start communicating with those people even though you don't personally know them. And if your network gets large enough, you can begin to let everybody know what you're doing in business. And they don't mind because that's why they're on LinkedIn. Okay, so the networks help us to promote what we're doing. They help us to meet people. There are many times I get phone calls from people in business saying, I was looking at trying to figure out how I could meet a certain person, and I see that you are tied to that person on LinkedIn. Can you make an introduction? And I can do the same thing. I can go in and ask somebody if they can make an introduction for me. So those networks are very important. You also, relationships are very important because you need allies. You need somebody who's going to come to your defense when you're trying to market your business or trying to get something done. I'll give you an example. I have big companies and some small companies that are always there in my corner. I was trying to do a piece of business in the state of Maryland. And because I knew somebody who was a CIO in the state of Maryland, I had no vehicles to do the work, but I had allies. So I called a friend of mine. I looked at their list of people who were on that contract. And I said, oh, I know at least 5 companies that are on that contract. And I could literally pick up the phone and ask those companies, can I enter into some kind of a partnership with you to go get this business? Because of the relationship that I had with presidents of those companies or other higher up officials, they said, absolutely. And in one case, they even said, look, we'll help you get the business, but we don't even want to take any of the business away from you. Why is that? Because we had such a great two-way relationship that they knew when they needed me that I would turn around and do whatever I could to help them. Now, it's rare, if you don't have a good relationship, it's rare that somebody's going to say, you take all the work and we're just going to stand off to the side and let you have it. You've got to have a real good, solid working relationship. You also, and I just mentioned, you want to have partnerships. You want to be able to say to somebody, let's go get this together. And when you have a real partnership and a strong relationship, yes, you do have to put paper in place. So don't think for a minute I'm saying don't put contracts in place. But if you have a strong partnership, you know that when you're talking to that person about getting things done and how you want to partner and work with them, that you don't have to worry that they're going to stab you in the back. Now, get your paper in place, okay? But with those partnerships, they will always be looking out for you and you're looking out for them. I've gotten so many calls. I can't even keep up with them a lot of times from people calling wanting to know if I will partner with them on various opportunities in the federal space. I didn't even go find the opportunity, they called me. So we want those kinds of relationships where people are calling to ask you to work with them. And then you need the support. I remember one time I had to get a presentation together for HUD, and I was at HUD, and I didn't have my computer, I didn't have anything that I needed to do to put the presentation together, and the meeting was like in an hour. And another gentleman who's president and CEO of another company was walking down the hall, and we stopped, and I said, oh my God, I don't know what I'm gonna do, I gotta put this little presentation together. He said, I got you. Let me go get my staff, come and show us what you need real quick, and we'll put it together for you. He got nothing out of that, it was just a nice gesture in the hallway. That's the kind of support you want. But if I didn't have that relationship with him, and he didn't trust me and didn't like me, then I would not have been able to get that presentation done on the spot like that. So that's why these relationships are very important. I can come up with a whole lot of other reasons why they're important, but that's just a few. So how do you network to create these relationships? Well, there are a ton of ways that you network to create these relationships. One, at events and organizations like this one. You all have gotten to know each other. I am positive that you all support each other, work with each other, you figure out ways to partner. If somebody sees an opportunity, one of you will tell somebody who is a part of this organization that there's an opportunity, and you even will go forward to try to help them get it. And you'll use your relationships to help somebody in your organization. These kinds of organizations are very important. I belong to a ton of organizations. I've been president of a few. But when I'm in those organizations, and a lot of them are the big DC IT organizations like Association for Federal Information Resource Managers and Partnership for Public Service and the American Council for Technology and all those kinds of things. Women in Technology. And I'm in membership in many of those, and as a result of that, I get to know all of those people. Not only do I get to know who they are, but when they start inviting executives in for different events that they're having, we get to meet firsthand with those executives, whether we know them or not. Now, one of the things that you want to do if you are a member of any kind of an organization is you don't want to just show up for the membership meetings. You want to be actively involved in the events that they're putting on. You want to be on planning committees and all those kinds of things, because